Okay, it's live now.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ethereum Summer Camp 2020. Today is the week 3 of Women in Ethereum. And today we will talk about how the blockchain industry is rethinking diversity and inclusion. And what are those women builders working on? Okay. And what are those women builders working on, and what have they contributed to the ecosystem? And today I want to welcome our first guest is Isa from Aave. She's the head of marketing at Aave, and Aave is a decentralized lending and borrowing protocol on Ethereum. And today she will introduce us more about this product and talking about more about DeFi, because nowadays people are saying that DeFi is building the future of finance, and we are really curious about this. Hello, Isa.
Hi, thank you, Annie. Hi, everyone. Really happy to be here, and yes, happy to talk to you all about DeFi. So I'm head of marketing at Aave, a protocol for decentralized finance based in London. So I'll tell you a little bit about myself, kind of how I got involved in the crypto space, and a bit about decentralized finance and why it is the future of finance, and something that will become much more popular in the mainstream in years to come, or at least we think it will. So I got into crypto when I moved to Berlin about 2 years ago. I guess a bit like later to the space than some, but I was studying public policy, and that's kind of the angle I'd learned about blockchain technology from. So I started learning about like blockchain for social good projects and going to different meetups throughout the city. And I was just very intrigued, and there's so many applicabilities, and that's kind of how I discovered Ethereum and that whole space, which was very cool. I met someone and we actually started working on a project together. It was a streetwear blockchain and gaming project. So it was kind of authenticating and proving limited edition streetwear fashion, and then also allowing users to take the physical apparel into different multiple virtual gaming realms. So that was a lot of fun. And then I kind of just, through going to more meetups and learning a little bit more about Ethereum, that's kind of how I discovered DeFi and ETHLens, which was Ava's former name. So now we've branded to Ava. That's kind of how I got involved with this project, but I think it's really cool. So I'm excited to tell you all a bit more about DeFi and what we're doing at Aave. So Aave was founded in 2017. So it's one of the pioneers of the DeFi space. It was previously called ETHLens. So decentralized finance is super cool because you can do a lot of things that you can't really do with a traditional bank. So what is DeFi? Why is it useful? What can you do with it? So DeFi works kind of like a normal bank, except there are no centralized institutions at all. Everything's decentralized. So loans are automatically negotiated by smart contracts. So there's no bank involved, and people lending and borrowing can be complete strangers. The whole system is completely trustless. DeFi doesn't require any paperwork, ID, or background checks. So it's way faster and more efficient than the traditional financial system because it doesn't need any middleman. So by not relying on any sort of centralized institution like a bank does, DeFi allows people to earn much higher yields on deposits and borrow really simply and quickly without needing to worry about credit checks and any sort of discrimination that can come along with that when taking out a loan in a traditional bank. The main advantages of DeFi, I'd say, are also the core values of DeFi. One, it makes liquidity borderless. So you can use DeFi, you can use decentralized financial services wherever you are in the world, 24/7, as long as you have internet connection, pretty much. It's also non-custodian, so you control your money. You own it, you can use it however you want, whenever you want. And it's also permissionless to participate. So anybody can use decentralized applications. There's none of these gatekeepers that come with the traditional financial system. So there's no KYC, there's no credit score. And this really prevents biases. There's the same rules for everyone. The smart contracts just kind of lay out the rules of the land, and they apply to everyone the same. Aave is a decentralized money market protocol on Ethereum to earn interest on your deposits and borrow different crypto assets. So it's open source and non-custodial, meaning anybody has access to the code and you control your money. So it's an ecosystem of smart contracts on the Ethereum blockchain. So it's completely transparent and trackable and auditable by code, or auditable by anyone. This guy in the corner here is the Aave Ghost. So the ghost, Aave means ghost in Finnish, our founder's Finnish, and the ghost represents Aave's focus on creating a transparent and open ecosystem for decentralized finance. So how does it work? It works kind of similar to a normal bank. Users can deposit into the Aave market, this reserved pool of funds here, and earn interest on those deposits while they're loaned out to borrowers. So this is very cool. You earn much higher interest rates than you would in a traditional bank. The average deposit APR that you'd earn in a traditional UK savings account is 1.39%. In DeFi and in Aave, this is 4%, sometimes much more than that. So users can also borrow assets on the other side, provided that they have enough collateral in another asset to support their loan. So the interest rates that the depositors will earn are basically determined by the market. So how much borrowing demand there is and how much liquidity is available in the pool. So the lending and borrowing is all negotiated by these smart contracts. So if there's lots of liquidity available in one asset, say there's tons of USDC, a stable coin pegged to the US dollar. So if there's a lot of USDC available, but there's not a lot of borrowing demand, then the interest rate earned on deposits will be relatively low. However, if all of a sudden everyone wants to borrow USDC and there's not a whole lot of liquidity available, then the interest rate for depositors will go up. So this incentivizes more depositors to put liquidity into the protocols. This is kind of how the market works itself out. So the foundation of DeFi is these over-collateralized loans. So when you borrow an asset from the Aave market, for example, you need to put up more collateral in another asset than the value of the asset that you're borrowing. So this is so that the liquidity in the pool is protected. If you can't pay back your loan or the value of your collateral falls significantly for some reason, say if your collateral is ETH and the price of ETH just drops, then your collateral can get liquidated to ensure the safety of the funds in the pool. So this is cool. It gives borrowers, in a way, a little bit more flexibility because there's no fixed time to pay back loans. So as long as you have enough, you can keep it open. There's no set duration that you need to pay it back. Some perks for borrowers in Aave are that you can switch between variable and stable interest rates at any time, which is pretty cool. There's one type of uncollateralized loans, so loans where you don't need any capital, you don't need to put up any capital as collateral, and these are these flash loans here. So flash loans are they're designed for developers or people with more technical knowledge, but they basically allow you to borrow from the pool without needing to put up any collateral, as long as you return that liquidity to the pool within one block transaction. So of course, if you don't return the liquidity to the pool, then all of your actions basically get reversed, undoing your transaction and undoing the whole borrow action. Yes, so this is the Aave team here. We're the Avengers. QR code will take you to our Telegram group if you're interested. But yes, we're all super excited about growth in the DeFi space and the possible synergies that we think DeFi has with the traditional financial system. So thank you all very much. That's kind of an overview of Aave and DeFi. I think it's a very cool space and it's definitely going to grow. I think it's very, very important to have more women in crypto, and especially in DeFi, when you're building these innovative and disruptive technologies that have the potential to reshape a whole financial system, then it needs to be built by the people who it's created for, I think. I don't think DeFi should look the same as old fi or the traditional financial system. If you're trying to create a transparent, open, and equitable ecosystem, then you need to have diversity involved in creating it. So I think it's a really exciting space, so much development in the recent years, and I think it's just going to keep growing. So yeah, happy to tell anyone more if you're interested. And yes, okay. I'll open it up to questions.
Thank you, Isa. Do we have any questions here on our YouTube live stream or any place? Yes.
I just wanted to say good job. It looks like it's doing quite well on DeFi Pulse.
Yeah.
Oh yes, thank you. Thank you. We're very excited.
Yeah. I personally have a question about flash loan. So like most of the target audience of Aave will be developers, or like, my question is, like, if I'm a non-developer, how can I get into Aave?
Yes. So as someone without a lot of technical knowledge, you can still borrow. You just need to have some collateral. But one of the main appeals is depositing and earning the interest, because you just get much higher interest rates. So if you hold any crypto or thinking about it, exploring different decentralized finance protocols is a really good idea, because you can really earn some very good interest rates with that. Flash loans are designed for developers, but there is a tool now for Ucumbo, which kind of lets anyone execute a flash loan, just like with the drag and drop method. So that's something cool to check out if you're not a developer.
Yeah, I will definitely check out later.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we don't have questions, I will go to next. Okay, let's go.
Hey. I had one question actually.
Okay.
How have, like, obviously DeFi is getting pretty popular right now. How have you found, I mean, obviously gas fees are always an issue, but have you found that to be a big barrier for people who are new in the space, or is that not as big of an issue as, say, it was 3 years ago?
I think it's getting to be maybe more of an issue right now, just with like how high gas fees have been. From my experience, we definitely get a lot of questions about it. I think it's hard for people to understand sometimes that you need to have ETH in your wallet to pay for gas when you're depositing or borrowing or doing any of these transactions. So that is just something that's definitely a barrier to onboarding more people to DeFi and crypto. I've started onboarding my dad, so that's been something that I've had to explain a lot.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
How have you dealt with the UI and UX? 3 years ago was pretty bad, plus the gas fees. Now I feel like generally UI and UX is a lot better. Have you guys found some interesting ways to kind of make that easier for people
to onboard?
Yes.
Right.
I mean, in Aave, whenever you're trying, if gas is an issue or you're trying to like deposit a bar, but you don't have enough gas, I mean, you always get a little pop-up that kind of explains it to you. But yes, I mean, I think different wallets like Argent has done a very good job making this like pretty seamless, although now people have to pay for gas in Argent. But I do think it might become more of an issue if gas prices stay this high.
Yeah. Okay. Do we have any questions? Okay, let's go to the next. Welcome, Pooja. She's from Ether World, and she will tell us more about how she do the promotion for Ethereum, and especially for the project management and process in improvement in Ethereum. Pooja, hello.
Thank you, Annie.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. So I am from the Ethereum cat herders team. Let me just start sharing my screen here. So today I'm going to talk about project management and process improvement in Ethereum. But first, a little bit about the Ethereum cat herders. We are a group of individuals working together to help with the project management in Ethereum. Ethereum is a decentralized space, and there is a lot of scope to support the way you want to, whether you are technical or non-technical. So this cat herder is started with a thought of inviting participation from community from all different areas, not specifically to technical only, but technical is also. So anyone can be a cat herder. All you need to do is the willingness to contribute and be part of a distributed ecosystem. This group was initially founded in January 2019 by Hudson Jameson, Lane, and a few other members, and now it consists over a dozen of people. As you can see in the pictorial representation, it's just a group of volunteers. If you're working for a client team, you're a dev, you're a project manager, or you are just an individual contributor from the community, you are welcome to join. How do we handle the challenges of a decentralized project? Before we get into the challenges of decentralized, we all understand when we start a project management is important. It's needed, not only for managing the project smoothly, but also to keep it working straight in a sense like everybody's on the same page. We are understanding where we are, try to bridge the gaps between the developers and the end users. When it comes to decentralized community, challenges increases a little bit more. So let's try to take some help from the traditional industry. Some tips that we are trying to use in the decentralized world as well. The first one is survey, report, and then open communication. These are the things that we use in our present scenario as well for Ethereum. And let's see how we use it in the cat herders group to support Ethereum project management. The first one is communication. When we talk about communication, it is like we need to bring everybody understand what we are doing. Because Ethereum is a very new technology, we need to make everybody understand like we are progressing, what is the progress going on, and when and how we can deliver a thing. So we try to communicate with the Medium blog. We reach out to community by posting different discussion related to upgrades, and we share bi-weekly updates to capture the information throughout the week. And yes, we try to bring them to the same page. The coordination is not among the developers, but also with different working groups of Ethereum. And we are going to talk in another slide more about this coordination part. Community building is also an important task that we undertake. In this, we invite people from different skill set to come and support the project in whatever way they want to contribute. Documentation is an important area to be focused on, considering that community will be growing and people will be coming up to try to understand and to bring them up to speed. If they could go back and refer to some documents, that would be convenient for them to understand where we are. What ECH works on? Mostly we are heavily engaged with facilitation of network upgrade. We try to connect with the development team, all the clients, and get the status of their implementation and share the relevant version of the client to different stakeholders, miners, wallet holders, exchanges, and other people who are running Ethereum node. Let them aware about the latest version of the client so that they can upgrade before Ethereum mainnet is upgraded, so that we minimize the chances of fork. And this helps us understand the feeling of community as well. Because this is decentralized, we try to bring everybody together and move forward. The further tasks are availability of meeting transcripts. These Ethereum developers have different meetings, Ethereum 1.0 meeting, 2.0 implementation meeting, and several other meetings. We try to create transcript and make a central repository for people to refer and understand what is the current discussion, what is the current protocol being implemented in the main network. And likewise, we try to help out with different other tasks. So before we get into the process improvement part, the first we would like to discuss about some of the terms that you may or may not have heard before. It's EIP. In Ethereum space, this is a very common terminology. And this acronym simply stands for Ethereum Improvement Proposal. It's basically a design document that provides a concise technical specification of the feature for implementation in the Ethereum mainnet. Basically, that is related to the upgradation of the main network. There are three basic types of EIPs, meta, standard, and informational. So meta is kind of a process guideline that is important in a sense that it is a mandate that has to be followed. And because it is a mandate, it is important that community consensus is built up so that if somebody is proposing any meta EIP, it cannot go without the consensus. We would try to avoid any kind of dispute or try to help out with the consensus part so that the chain can run smoothly. There should not be any fork situation can be avoided. The next one is standard track. Standard track is further divided into core, networking, and interface. Core as it states, like these are basically by the names. So for core, we are the core EIPs, which are very, very important for network upgrade. Network is related to all networking. Interface is for APIs and all. ERCs, many people may have heard about ERC20 tokens. Basically, these tokens are the native token of any other project built on Ethereum network. So these are the EIPs. I would like to mention the process, like what are the entire process, but just want to give a high level overview. I'm not sure about the audience's part, but there is another event coming up in which we would be going to elaborate on these EIPs. The last one is informational. It's just for the information for community, just to refer. It's not a mandate. It's just the guideline that is available for community to implement it as a best practices. What is EIP? It's a group, another group which is involved into the process management of Ethereum network. This is again coming, and individuals are coming out from so many other groups, some from the client development team, some from the hard fork team, some from the proposers, like different projects, they come up with some different kind of proposals so that they can help improve the Ethereum network. So they all come together and try to improve the process of Ethereum main network. How do we do that in Ethereum? So I have tried to picturize it into 4 different levels. Like this group basically try to comprehend the challenges. What are the issues and challenges being faced in this space? It's, say, for example, we consider about protocols, the EIPs. So when people want to suggest any EIP, what do they have to do to suggest the EIP? Are there any issues? Sometimes it is like some political issues, like, okay, fine, we are doing this, but this is not getting passed. Our job as a cat herder is to minimize this gap, try to bring everybody on the same space, understand these things. So we do this with the help of surveys, try to collect feedback from people and come up with a list with the issues and challenges. Then we brainstorm the solution, we come up with 2 or 3 solutions, try to document the solutions, the best one, and reach out to the Ethereum core developer team, the client team, and try to discuss this is the issue and these are the possible solutions. Do we think that we can go ahead with this? And if it is approved, we try to enforce implementation by synchronizing with every relevant team at that point. This is just a glimpse of EIP dashboard that states about what all are the tasks that we are currently undertaking. And it talks about the issues that we have gathered from the ecosystem. This is available at Ethereum Cat Herders EIP GitHub repo. People who are interested, feel free to go there. And you can also learn about the statuses, like there are some tasks that is already done and there are in progress. And this is an ongoing list. We are trying to maintain it to provide the transparency to the community. In the beginning, I mentioned about working with people. So the cat herders, they do not work alone. They are working in collaboration of so many different groups in the ecosystem. So we work with at one client team, the client developers, at two client developers, 1559, that's an important protocol that is coming up. That implementers team and stateless research, Ethereum research team. So that's about the developer team. Then there is a next subset of network stakeholders. Those are exchange, mining pool, wallets, and tap developers. Ethereum working group is, there are so many Ethereum working group. The cat herders are also a working group, but we are trying to connect with the rest of the other working group available in the space, like the EMSP Ethereum Meetup Support Program, EEA, Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, Marketing DAO, Fellowship of Ethereum Magician. I'm sure we have a speaker to speak about a Fellowship of Ethereum Magician. So you would get to know more about in later part of this event. And there's another group of people who are willing to join the Ethereum community. They are our future developers and learners, students, and possibly the end users. So we try to bridge all these things together so that everybody on the same space, they need to know about Ethereum technical part, Ethereum usability part, and we can grow up the Ethereum community. All of these sounds great. How can I participate? I hope this is a question maybe in a few people's mind at this point of time. Like, I understand that people are curious to know about so many things going in Ethereum, and they also want to contribute, but they do not know where to go and how actually they can start contributing. So for that, we recommend to join Cat Herders. It's just a group of volunteers. You can message us at Getter, watch streams, and you can also leave comments on GitHub on the issues. In that repository, we try to come up with bi-weekly meetings, and we try to come up with agenda. If you have anything to discuss about, if you have any questions or any concerns about current protocol that is being discussed, or some improvement that is proposed for future, feel free to go and leave and comment in the issues section of the agenda. These are the other places that we can be reached out to. Just reach us anywhere. Like, you can leave a message at Getter, comment at Twitter, Medium. And there is also another ECH onboarding form. This is basically to collect information about people who are interested. If they would let us know what is their area of interest, where they would want to contribute. So just to connect them with the right set of people. So if you are a technical person and you are interested into technical, helping out with some technical people, we will let you know, point towards the right team that you are interested into. If you are, into governance and other process improvement thing, we'll connect you to that team. So just to collect some basic information and connect you with the right team. So that's all from my end from
Thank you, Pooja. Let us check if we have any questions. Oh, we have one question. It's asking about what's the current state of Ethereum 1 and how's Ethereum 2 coming up? Perhaps could answer the Ethereum 1 question.
I'm sorry, can you please repeat it?
Okay. It's asking about the state of Ethereum 1.
Okay, so when we talk about state of Ethereum 1,
yeah.
So Ethereum 1 has been performing pretty well, and it will be, like, we have seen so many upgrades in past, I think 8 or 9 upgrades. The next one coming up is Berlin. We are expecting that too. But before that, we are under discussion of some things on client distribution part. As people may know that there are so many clients of Ethereum, Geth, Open Ethereum, Open Ethereum, Parity Ethereum, and so many others, Besu, Nethermind. So we are trying to have a good mix of clients, because it is decentralized. We do not want it to be centralized around only one particular client. So we are discussing that, but we are hoping to get Berlin update too, to keep this chain rolling. And Ethereum 2 would be coming up soon. We had this discussion today in Ethereum All Coder meeting. I will highly recommend people to go watch that. There are some estimation provided by devs, like how and when we can expect Ethereum 2. Progress is going on. We are almost on the final testnet for Ethereum 2 before it goes, phase 0 is live. That's called Medalla. And we hope to see the Genesis very soon.
Thanks. Okay. I personally have a question about the onboarding process of contributors, because I saw the slide says that, let's say if I'm a student and I'm also a app developer, will I be put in which place? Because yeah, you know, some may be the hybrid contributors. Yeah, that's one of my questions. Yeah, that's
a very interesting question. Thank you for that. Actually, this is a very good place to begin with. This cat herdder group I'm a part of. I'm very happy and proud to mention that there are so many students joining us. The best place to start with, if you are into technical part of it, I mean, if you're a student and are planning to become a app developer in future, start with understanding the protocols, the EIP part. So the best place would be to start participating in EIP IP meeting. You can even watch it if you do not want to join right away. Get some hang of it, and then you can probably, when you think that you are comfortable, you can reach one of us and you would be included inside, and your thoughts, ideas are, would be very helpful for us. So yeah, I think that is the best place to start if you are a student and looking to contribute.
Okay, thanks for your answer. I think we don't have any questions now on YouTube. Okay, I will introduce Jay. Jay is from QuantStamp, and QuantStamp is focused on blockchain security. So today I will invite Jay to tell us more about the security part of blockchain. And yeah, tell us more about the hack things. Yes. Thank you.
My name is Jay. Excuse me. I got involved in the space pretty early on, just kind of been part of the space. I guess I jumped in with QuantStamp late 2017, but I've been following blockchain since late 2013. Always a Doge maximalist, yeah, I'd say that I'm kind of all over the place in the Ethereum space. But in terms of security, we make sure that, as to the best of our abilities, code is safe before it goes live, as we're trying to secure the decentralized internet. So I'm going to talk a little bit. I'm going to talk more DeFi.
Sure.
I'm going to talk a little bit more on the security side of things. So I'm going to get that going here. Okay. Let me just make sure. Oh, just 1 second. Okay. Is it not showing?
Yeah, it's not showing.
Okay, thank you. Is it showing now?
No.
It's not. How about now? No?
No.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, Keynote needs to figure their stuff out because it is desktop 1, desktop 2. How about that?
I think, no, it didn't show up.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, let's... I'm going to just do this.
How about like sharing your screen? Like you can share it.
What I'm trying to do here
Yes, now we can see your screen.
Kina.
Oh, I love your screen.
Here, let me do it this way.
It's a neon Ethereum.
You're gonna do it the ugly way. I'm just gonna.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally fine, right? It's all you gotta. Sometimes you just gotta make lemonade with lemons, right? Oh, navigator. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, we're ready to go. Sorry about that, everyone. Okay. So everyone can see the screen?
Yes, we can see the screen.
Perfect. Good enough. So yeah, so despite the hacks, the future is still DeFi in our view. Okay, won't let me go to the next page. I need to have the navigator. That's another problem. Okay, so as Isa shared earlier, that DeFi is really interesting, and it's also the first category of applications to achieve product market fit with blockchain technology. The vision is to create a decentralized financial system that offers the financial products and services seen in traditional finance, but without a central authority. So currently locked in DeFi is about $3 billion, which is enormous. So that sounds really cool, but we're going to get into a little bit what you need to be careful of.
Yes.
And why this matters. This metric is important because this means that people are actively lending, borrowing, using derivatives, using DEXs. In December 2019, the entire decentralized finance market was worth less than $7 million. This indicates the desire for an alternative financial system, and this is real financial activity. So composability, money Legos. DeFi is also powerful because of its composability, meaning the components of the system can be converted, can be connected to each other. Products and services within the DeFi ecosystem can be linked together to create new products. A great example of this is Artrees, which allows individuals to actually donate interest generated off their idle cryptocurrency to fund nonprofits that plant trees in this case. This actually leverages protocols RDI and Compound. Now, if we look at Compound, the DeFi space was already growing quickly in 2020, but the growth exploded thanks to Compound's governance token distribution in June. Before the distribution system began, Compound was the second largest DeFi project per total value locked in smart contracts. It's lost a little bit of value recently, but as traders have migrated to Compound to quote unquote farm, it became the largest DeFi project, and the Comp token has the largest market cap of any DeFi token at the time of the writing here. Over 584 million in value has recently flowed into DeFi projects to take advantage of these high yields. Essentially, DeFi farming is, with Compound, is you're taking Compound protocol to allow anyone to supply or borrow Ethereum tokens through a decentralized market. Suppliers earn interest on any cryptocurrency supplied to the protocol, and borrowers pay interest. Each day, Comp tokens are distributed to users of the protocol, allocated to each market proportional to the interest accrued in that market. Incentivized liquidity, known as liquidity mining, has also sometimes resulted in yields of 50 or even 100%, which is really cool. But there's so many risks. The way people are getting these yields are very complex. Yeah. By plugging projects together, sometimes with themselves, what's called rehypothecating assets, users are getting these higher yields. However, doing this can multiply financial and/or smart contract risk. Yield farming apps heavily utilize ETH composability, which increase smart contract security risk. Leveraging assets may lead to liquidation, and that's not fun. You don't want to get liquidated and wrecked. But DeFi projects are tackling long-standing problems. They're addressing inefficiencies in our market, in our current financial system, improving financial inclusion, increasing liquidity, and reducing costs. So DeFi applications are widening across numerous sectors and industries. Some of the projects we're excited about are Idle Finance, Nuo, Pull Together, Zero Collateral. Pull Together, for example, actually enables healthy alternatives to traditional lotteries by incentivizing savings through their no-loss lottery. So everyone is able to pool together and someone wins, but no one loses, which is really interesting. There are security issues. So DeFi projects are easy to build powerful apps with, but that ease belays potential security issues. 26 million in value has been lost due to DeFi hacks in 2020 alone. Many of these projects had vulnerabilities, or in some cases, funds were stolen. With the case of under-collateralized loans, calculating the price of an asset on chain is difficult and can be manipulated. So hackers can take advantage to create under-collateralized loans. DeFi protocols thought it had enough collateral, but it actually was handing out free money, and it didn't. The hacker then profited by not paying back these loans. We're going to go through a few examples of these. So the Statera deflationary token hack via Balancer, DeFi liquidity provider Balancer Pool experienced a sophisticated hack where a loophole was exploited to trick the protocol into releasing 500,000 worth of tokens. When the attack involved taking out a flash loan of wrapped ETH and repeatedly swapping it for deflationary token STA. Since STA's portion of the Balancer Pool was now nearly empty, the price of STA had a large premium, which was then used to swap for ETH, BTC, Link, and SNX. The attacker performed the attack until all STA pools were drained. Balancer Pool is adding transfer fee tokens to a blacklist and reviewing the protocol. DeForce hack. DeForce is a China-based DeFi network. Ultimately, 25 million worth of Bitcoin and ETH were stolen from DeForce's lending protocol, lendf.me. The exploit leveraged a reentrancy attack via IMBTC and its ERC-777 token standard. The hacker was able to increase its ability to borrow all other assets on DeForce lending platform repeatedly, giving them the ability to exit with all of the assets deposited in the lending application. Ultimately, the hacker returned the money, and the founder of DeForce stated that they intended to redistribute them to their rightful owners. So in the end, it was okay, but still. And of course, BZX hacks. Now, a lot has been written on these, so we're just going to cover them briefly. But there was actually two attacks on BZX. There was a logic bug. Essentially, it was a reentrancy, and an Oracle attack. They both ultimately used flash loans to create massive buy-sell shifts in the market price on on-chain exchanges. But ultimately, the same outcome happened, where attackers opened under collateralized loan positions on BZX, and lenders ended up holding large bags. And yeah, so with the Oracle, there's a time differential, I believe, that where the price Oracle was essentially not providing the correct price. So ultimately, security is super crucial for DeFi's continued growth. If these projects are to become the future of our monetary system, security will be crucial to safeguard the value managed by these apps. Addressing some of the current challenges through monitoring tools, increasing transparency and insurance will help unleash DeFi's potential and set the stage for massive growth. We hope. And and it could lead to a new financial system. The opportunity here is for people to opt in to an alternative system that is transparent, secure, and decentralized. It's borderless and accessible. Anyone with a smartphone and internet access can use DeFi applications and financial services. And new markets and opportunities will change asset trading across the globe. Its impact across all sectors, payments, banking, lending, its impacts are across all sectors: payments, banking, lending, and investing. And this may also be a future funding mechanism. Along with other funding mechanisms, DeFi could prove to be useful core for future Web3 or open value like microeconomic structures. So we'll see. And QuantStamp's role in all this is that we believe that the DeFi space and what it can provide, we believe in the DeFi space and what it can provide to society. We're excited to play a key part in growing this ecosystem by securing these innovative projects. Our mission is to secure the decentralized web, and ultimately that's what we're doing here, and that's why we do what we do. Currently, in fact, we're actually, we shipped the audit for Prismatic Labs. We audited Prism, which is an ETH2 client developed by Prismatic Labs. I believe it's the first client that was shipped. This will have major impacts on the DeFi space, potentially lower fees for transactions for DeFi projects, transition to proof of stake, which will, of course, greatly reduce energy costs, and the possible impacts on composability. But there are possible impacts on composability due to sharding. But at the same time, this is a phased approach. We're just only approaching phase 0. So we have a long way to go. So what's next? Well, in spite of these hacks, there is incredible opportunity for growth and development within the DeFi space. We're still in the early days of DeFi, and innovative projects will continue pushing the boundaries. And we hope to be there to help secure these money Legos. So if you'd like to learn more, please, and learn about some of these recent hacks, we go a little bit more into depth on our blog. You can just follow the QR code link and it'll take you to our blog. And of course, these are two of the blogs that we've written recently. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jay.
Does anyone have any questions?
Yes. Does anyone have questions? Let me check YouTube. I think so far, no. But I personally have a question. You just mentioned about flash loan got hacked. Like people do flash loan will got hacked. Like I'm curious about, can you explain more about the risk of flash loan? Sorry.
Well, so in these circumstances, what was happening was, these were actually all like the attack and all the parameters of, filling this lending pool and filling that, pulling out a flash loan here and all of that. It was actually all executed within a single smart contract. So it's happening all at once. So for the Oracle attack, it pulls data, it sees that there's a problem with the Oracle price. It waits for that opportunity. And then it essentially uses STA to do that. With flash loans, it's taking out a flash loan and then using that as collateral.
Hello.
While checking correctly that there was, is my connection okay?
Now it's back. I'm not sure whose connection is.
Oh, okay.
Weird. Okay, it's okay. Okay, you can go ahead.
So with flash loans, now I believe with BZX it was
weird. It's my I think
with the flash.
Hello, Jay. I think you are a little bit unstable for your
okay.
Website. I'm not sure.
Here, let me see if I can make it better. Just 1 second.
Yes, a little bit unstable now.
Okay, in the blogs. Hello? Oh, there.
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
We are here. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try and make it quick. I believe what was happening is the contract itself wasn't checking to make sure that there was adequate there was adequate collateralization, and so it was able to sort of loop a bunch of these asking for flash loans, and then basically putting it into the pool, and then once it has the price, a favorable price, it liquidates and leaves out, and then of course everyone is left with a bunch of completely under collateralized debt, essentially.
Got it. Thanks for the explanation.
But
okay,
there's an explanation on our blog.
Okay, everyone definitely need to check their blog. And we have another question from YouTube. Yen is asking that does DeFi industry need professional finance knowledge?
I think we're lucky enough to have our business team have a lot of experience before starting the company in various financial sectors, and it's certainly helped with what we do, and I think that's really allowed us to really see what's going on here very quickly. So I guess to answer that question, you don't need it, but it certainly does help, and there's always there's a lot of parallels, but again, this is a decentralized space, and there's a lot of information out there, and everything can just be sort of learned ad hoc. So yes and no, I guess.
Okay, thank you, Jay.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, I will introduce our next guest is Annette from Ethereum Magicians, and she will tell us more about how she got into Ethereum industry as a female. Annette, are you there?
Hi everyone. Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, thank you, Annie, for such a nice introduction. Can I share my screen?
Yeah.
I guess no.
You can try again.
I hope so. Okay, I can see it, but I'm going to post a link to my slides so you guys won't be left out, and you can share that.
Okay. Do you want me to share? I can.
Yes, I think so. That would be the best.
Okay, then I will share, and you just tell me next page. Okay.
Yeah, that would be the best. Thank you.
Okay, wait a minute. Can you see my screen?
Yes, that's perfect.
Okay.
Thank you. So, hi everyone. I'm Annette, and I'm going to talk a little bit about my journey in Ethereum and like what it's like to be a girl in Ethereum, and where to begin when you're entering this like Ethereum rabbit hole. You can go to the next slide.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is a little bit about me and what I do. Mostly I'm event organizer, and I do operations for Ethereum Magicians. And then I started working on Ethereum Meetup support program, which is like educational program for Ethereum Meetup organizer, and a lot of people knows me as Ethereum Sunshine.
Okay.
You can swipe. So just to tell you a little bit about Ethereum Magicians. Ethereum Magicians is a place for the community to discuss technical difficulties. And what I'm usually do there, I'm administrating forum and making sure that there are no spam, and sometimes I'm hanging out around with the community and just chit chat and so on. And then I'm organizing events. Okay. For the Ethereum Magicians, which is like encouraging people to come up with consensus on in-person events. Can go. So, no, go back.
Go back. Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry.
So Ethereum Magicians is a community of individuals who are working on different parts of Ethereum. They're collaborating together in teams with their working groups that are usually being called rings on a forum. And just to find out more, you can go ahead to the ethereum-magicians.org, where you can see the forum, and you are more than welcome to come and discuss the EIPS. Go ahead. So just to give you a little bit insight about the Ethereum Meetup Support Program, this is mainly for meetup organizers and to the ones who want to start a meetup group and not sure where to start, and like how to build their community. So just sign up to Ethereum Meetup Support Program. And we have educational materials. We have community of meetup organizers where you can hang out on Discord with other people, and we meet on a bi-weekly calls that are virtual, like get-togethers or virtual gatherings. So just search for Ethereum Meetup Support Program on Medium. That's the best way how to find out more and articles and sign up link. Go ahead. Thank you.
Okay.
Ethereum is a voice club. Yeah, actually, I was discussing with the organizers how to make this presentation, and I was told that like probably Ethereum is a voice club, and yes, sometimes it is, but I think that it's a myth because there are so many super talented girls that are in Ethereum and blockchain industry, but not so many girls want to be very visible because they don't want to be assaulted because of like receiving the unwanted messages, or like having so many DMs with like not very friendly content. So that's why so many girls doesn't want to be very visible, or they just want to do the work and not be seen as like, I'm a girl and I wear skirt and, like I wear pink and like, hey, here I am. Like, so that's why so many girls don't want to be in Ethereum. And also so many girls doesn't want to be in Ethereum because there are groups that are like too like womanizing, and they are like, oh, like this is only girls club and no boys allowed, and they're trying to be so much like girls only. And so many girls that are, especially the ones who are working in tech, likes to hang out with the guys a lot, and they just don't want to be seen as something that is super unique. So that's the reason why so many girls are not in Ethereum. You can go. So how to get more girls into the ecosystem? There's another problem that I see on Twitter or in general around my friends, that they just don't get paid enough, and that so many companies are seeing girls as something that is like less. And even though they have the same education or even more education than the guys, they have usually way less paycheck or like less money. So just if you want to have more girls, then like pay them equally. That's my probably best advice. You can go ahead.
Okay.
So how to start in Ethereum as a girl? The best way, or especially the way how I got it, is I head over to Medium and I was searching for Ethereum as a keyword and just read articles. There are so many articles that are available, and I feel like those are really good. I mean, there are so many bad ones, but there are so many good ones. And I think that if you will look at the Ethereum from the community side, and you will see like what are people writing, what's the most discussed topics, that's the best way how you can learn. Also, another very awesome source of information is GitHub, and they have newsletters that I recommend you to subscribe, where you can like keep up with what is happening with the latest updates. with podcasts if you don't have time to read everything. And they have so many awesome educational documents where you can read and find basically everything what is important and everything what you need. And another source of information, at least for me, is crypto Twitter. And if you don't know where to start, just search for crypto Twitter. Just search for crypto Twitter or head out and just search for like Ethereum follow and the list. And for example, I found this tweet that is around a year ago from Ryan C. Adams. And under this tweet, there are so many great accounts that you can follow. So just probably search for this tweet or like any other. You can go ahead. You probably already learned something, but you don't know how to start and like where to find yourself a job or a place or how to contribute. And the best way how to start in Ethereum is not only learn, but try to get involved in different groups. And for example, Juliana, it's encrypted, started this group which calls Meta Gamma Delta. And just reach out to them because their main goal is to support women. They can give you mentorship, resources, probably money, and you can learn so many awesome things about DAOs. So if you are interested about DAOs and you're a little bit worried of like boys club in Metacartel, just head out over this group, and they have so many talented girls that are super happy to help out with how to start your first DAO and how to get involved. Another great project.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Another great project is reach out to Ethereum cat handlers who are decentralized Ethereum project management. They are working with Cordeos. They take notes from calls, and as you heard Pooja's presentation, they have so many, they are working on so many awesome things, so just reach out to them. If you want to learn about the core protocol, just head out to Ethereum Magicians and hang out on a forum, read what is going on there. There are so many cordials that are discussing EIPS and protocol changes on Ethereum, so just head over there. Otherwise, how you can get involved is head over to meetup.com and search for keyword Ethereum in your area and find if there is a meetup happening. And I know that right now the current situation doesn't allow us to go and meet people in person, but head over there and you can find there's a meetup group in your area, and I'm pretty sure that they do some virtual meetups, so you can just hang out there and probably start to chat with people, and then you will probably find out that your neighbor next door is interested in Ethereum, and ta-da, go and grab a coffee with them or something, and you have an in-person friend, because the best way how you can learn and the best way what to do in Ethereum or in any other, if you have any other hobby, is to have somebody, some friend that is like in person, so you can like don't have to rely on virtual conversations all the time. And I'm totally aware of the current situation, but the best way how you can start actually in Ethereum, just head back.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, yeah, is to volunteer on the conferences. Right now, it's not really possible, but you may find some event that just like write to the organizers if they definitely need help with something. If not in person, then I'm pretty sure that you will find something, some way how you can help out with virtual meetups as well. And then read and listen. And always, please, girls, take notes. And this really is not only to girls, but when you are starting your career, the best way how you can learn is to take notes. So for example, the way how I did it is I started GitHub repo and I was copy pasting there every link of the article and project and everything what was interesting for me. And I was posting there and I made like a huge like gallery of links or like a notepad of links of what I read. And that's awesome. And I'm pretty sure that it will be helpful for you. So you can like get back and like check up on the articles and on the like knowledge. Okay. So yeah, and this is like short story how I got into Ethereum. So I started in a cowork that right now is not existing anymore, but I met there some Ethereum positive friends. They took me on Delcon 4 when I met amazing girl. She was like Brenda Loya. She's right now CEO and co-founder at Teller. And she told me so many amazing ways, like how to be a girl in Ethereum. And she told me, like, you know, when you are a girl, you have to like keep your head up all the time and don't have to like be ashamed because you are a girl and you are on a conference and there you may be only alone in a room full of guys. So this is probably my best advice that I can give you. And that's probably the best thing that I learned from Brenda. And volunteer. So volunteer on the conferences, I did the same and I was volunteering on so many conferences and events. And then I found myself a job and that's pretty much it from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I will stop to share. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your experience. Okay. Let's check if we have any question on YouTube. Oh, I think no, that we don't have any question. And I think it's really helpful for girls who want to join Ethereum meetup or Ethereum, any Ethereum club. Thank you.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Have a great day, girls.
Okay, then let's move on. I think we are a little bit late today. Okay, I will move on to introduce Alexis. Alexis will tell us more about the DeFi risk management. Hello, Alexis. Are you there?
Hey, yeah, I'm here. Let me just share my screen.
Okay. Sorry, everyone. We will be a little bit late today.
Okay, cool. Yeah, hey, y'all. So I'm going to talk a little bit today about DeFi risk management. And so let's just dive right in. Okay. So there's a ton of risks that we face in DeFi, whether that's ETH volatility, Oracle risk, hacks and smart contracts, financial risks. There are a lot of risks. And so the question is, how do we mitigate these risks? And today I'll be talking about one way to mitigate these risks, and that is by using protective put options. So I know that's kind of like a big financial word, and so we'll talk about the definition and then we'll break it down. Okay. So a protective put option gives you the right, but not the obligation, to sell an asset at a given price, which we call the strike price, by a certain date called expiry. So I know this is kind of a lot, but we'll go ahead and break it down with an example so that we can really understand what's going on here. Okay, so let's look at an example. Let's say that the ETH price is at $200. Now I'm worried about ETH downside, volatility, and flash crashes. So what I can do is I can buy this protective instrument, which says, if ETH falls below $180 before June 7th, I can still sell my ETH for $180. So what this does for me is it means that the maximum amount I can lose in this situation, if I'm holding this instrument, is $20. Because ETH is at 200 right now. But if ETH falls, say ETH falls to 170, then I can still get $180 for my ETH. So that's how I'm protected. So as we talked about before, kind of mapping this back to the definition, ETH is the asset we're talking about, $180 is the strike price. So the price at which I can use this protective instrument in order to get that $180 for my ETH. I can use this by June 7th, so that's the expiry. And I have the choice to get $180 for my ETH, which is what we call the right, but not the obligation. So in our example, we talked about, hey, if ETH falls to 170, I can still get $180 for my ETH. But if the opposite happened and ETH went up in value from 200 to 210, then I wouldn't have to exercise my option. I'm not obligated. So I could sell my ETH for 210, the higher price, if ETH went up. This is giving me this choice if ETH goes down to still get 180 for my ETH. So now, how does this work on Ethereum now that we kind of know what a protective put option is? Well, say I come in as a protection buyer and I want to buy this kind of protection. So this protection is called a put option, and we represent it on Ethereum as an O token, so an option token. And this is a fungible ERC20 token, just like other ERC20s on Ethereum. You can buy and sell it, you can send it between people. So what I do is I pay a premium to a pool of protection sellers. And then in return, I get this O token, this option. And so this pool of protection sellers is simply a Uniswap pool. So it's just like buying any other ERC20. I'm paying this premium, and in return, I'm receiving this option. So, say I may be paying like $2, and then in return, I can get this option. Okay, cool. So now that you have this option, what can you do if ETH price falls? What does it give you? Well, there are actually two things you can do. So what we've already talked about, where you can redeem $180 for your ETH, that's called exercise. So so one of the options you have is to be able to send your options and your ETH to the protocol, and in return, get the strike price amount of USDC. So kind of mapping this back to our example, if ETH fell to $170, then what I could do is send my options, my O tokens, and my ETHs to the protocol. And in return, I could get 180 USDC back. So that's one thing I can do. I can exercise. However, there's another option as well. I can also sell the O token itself. So remember, this is an ERC fungible token. It has a price of its own. I paid $2 to get this O token. Now, what if the price of the O token itself goes up? Say it goes from $2 to $5 because there's a lot of demand and a lot of people want protection. Then what I can do is I can go to Uniswap and I can just sell my O token and receive that $5 in return. So if you want to learn more about this, you can check out the links here. I'll have like little links on each slide for learning more about these particular topics. But those are two ways that you can kind of recoup any losses in the case of an ETH price fall. You can exercise or you can sell the option itself. Okay, so now who are these people who are providing protection? You're the one buying protection when you're holding this O token or this option, but who's taking the other side? And so these are protection sellers. And what they're doing is they're willing to take on this risk. They're willing to say, okay, if ETH falls to $170, I'm happy paying out that 180 USDC. And in return, I get the protection buyer's ETH. So how does this protection seller sell these options? What they do is they put down USDC into what we call a vault. So if you're familiar with the MakerDAO system, this is kind of similar, where in Maker, you put collateral into a vault to mint and DAI. Here, you're putting this USD collateral into a vault to mint these O tokens, these options. So then once you've minted them, you can sell them on Uniswap and you can earn this premium. So you're earning this premium by taking on the protection buyer's risk. And that's kind of how selling protection works. So how are these options useful in DeFi? Well, there's the case that we've talked about so far, which is when you are you're creating protection on ETH using USDC as collateral. So here you're protected against volatility in ETH, flash crashes, and general ETH downside. You could also do something like an ETH DAI option, where instead of the collateral being USDC, the collateral is DAI. And so this still works for a lot of these cases here, but it also has unique properties in the DAI ecosystem itself. It can unlock DAI liquidity because when you exercise, you're receiving DAI instead of USDC, which is something that can be helpful in a case like, a Black Thursday kind of event. You can create kind of CDP protection by having an ETH DAI option at the liquidation price of your CDP, which again lets you unlock some DAI liquidity that you can burn to manage your collateralization ratio. And ETH DAI market makers can use it as a hedge. You can also create insurance for DeFi projects. So the cool thing is that if you take one of these option instruments, and instead of buying an option on something like ETH, you could buy an option on something like CDAI or CUSDC, which are just representations of DAI deposits in Compound or USDC deposits in Compound. And so this gives you protection against both technical and financial risk, immediate claim payouts, and trustless claim and risk assessment. So there's no kind of humans involved in the process. And so we currently have insurance for DeFi projects live for USDC and DAI deposits on Compound and USDC deposits on Aave. So that's another use case for these options. And then there's a ton more that's possible. We've barely scratched the surface so far. So now for the first time, you can hedge ETH, Bitcoin, or any ERC20 on Ethereum. This is a generalizable options protocol. And when I say Bitcoin, I'm talking about like some of the wrapped variants like WBTC, TBTC, et cetera. But for the first time ever, you can create an option on ETH or any ERC20 on Ethereum. You can create these insurance markets that we talked about. You can develop volatility oracles. You can create more advanced financial positions like spreads, strangles, and straddles. And one really cool thing about options is actually just using put options, which we talked about today, and call options, you can construct any financial payoff in existence. So these are really powerful instruments, and there's a lot of room for developers to build here. So excited to see what the Ethereum community produces with these instruments. And to kind of get some more ideas about what to build, you can check out this link here. So if you want to get started using these protective put options to hedge your risk while you're exploring in DeFi, you can get started at open.co. You can also join our Discord. We're always happy to answer any questions, and there's a ton of community members always having discussions. And then you can find more about Open and more about me on Twitter. Yeah, so that's a little bit about DeFi risk management, and happy to answer any questions.
That's really cool. I think the options is basically financial service will use option actually, but you put in the like DeFi world, right? And I think I'm not sure, but it's like people who have many Ethereum of DAI, they can use this service, right? To protect absolutely. Their assets.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. It's great for people who are holding lots of ETH. They can hedge on chain for the first time.
I will definitely try later, but I will check the YouTube question first. Okay, Yang have a question. Who's the best woman in Ethereum you think she will be your role model?
Oh my God, that's like a really hard question. There's
a little bit so.
Right? Yeah, I know that's special. Like the Ethereum community has so many amazing like female builders and researchers, innovators, and like, gosh, I can't choose one, but what I can do is I can point you to like She256, and our Fireside Chat series like covers a lot of really incredible women in the space. You can look at kind of the lineups for our previous conferences. Some really, really amazing people, and that's kind of just scratching the surface.
Thank you, Axis. Since you mentioned She256, I will invite our next guest.
I had a question, sorry.
Oh, sorry, okay.
I guess my question is, when I think of traditional put and call options, I think about how it's sort of represented in the balance sheet in order to sort of justify the existence of a put or call option. Maybe I didn't catch it, but then the how is like the obligation, like where the difference between I still have trouble with options myself, but the difference between market price of the asset that the put and call options are based on and the actual fluctuations of the put and call options, who absorbs the risk?
Yeah, no, that's it. So I want to clarify first to make sure I'm understanding your question correctly. You're trying to understand how the underlying price of the asset affects the price of the option?
No, I'm talking about, I guess, like if we're talking about put and call options as a derivative, well, it is a form of derivatives, but as a tokenized derivative product, then how is the risk portion of that sort of recreation also set up?
So you mean the risk of like the put option contract itself? Like how is that priced in?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's a really good question. Yeah, so in terms of pricing, right now these are completely market priced. So they're on Uniswap and it's based on supply and demand. What we've seen is that the prices are actually like they follow Deribit's prices pretty similarly. We haven't really seen a huge risk premium for the fact that these are smart contracts. But that's definitely a really interesting point in consideration that some users might price these differently because they're based off of smart contracts. But I think it really depends on the user. Some users are more scared of the custodial risk involved in sending their funds to Deribit, as opposed to smart contracts being non-custodial and them having full control over their own assets. So it's kind of a different set of risk profiles based on the platform and based on the user's comfort. But yeah, to answer your question, we haven't really seen a premium ascribed to them because they are smart contracts.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Alexis. Okay, let me introduce Mahat. Are you there? Since we are mentioning about SHA-256, can you explain us more about how to break into the space as a beginner?
Yeah, for sure. Let me try to share my slides. 1 second.
Thank you.
Am I able to share my screen?
Or you can give me the link. Okay. You can try it. If you can give me the link. I will help to share.
Got it, yeah. Actually, I think I'm able.
Yes, you are sharing now.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. But you may need to, yeah, you are sharing now.
Cool. So you guys can see my screen. Is it the first slide?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Yes, we can see it.
So hi everyone, I'm Meta. I'll be talking about SHA-256, which is a nonprofit that I co-founded with my friends Sarah and Alexis, who you just heard. Maybe first I can introduce myself a little bit and how I got into the space. So right now I'm a software engineer working on Cello. And I also, like I said, co-founded SHA-256. But in terms of Cello, it's basically an open platform that makes financial tools accessible to anyone with a mobile phone. And on the protocol side, there's two assets. So there's CUSD, which is Cello dollar. It's a stable valued asset that's pegged to USD. And then there's Cello, which is the governance asset for the Cello ecosystem. And then the Cello protocol was originally built on top of a fork of Ethereum, and it's fully compatible with EVM. So any dApp built on top of Ethereum can very easily be cloned and transported onto Cello as well. And I absolutely love the project and its mission. So I encourage you guys to check out its website, cello.org, to check out more about it. But my talk mostly will be focused on SHE-256. So now I'll kind of go over how I got into the crypto space, and maybe that'll help a beginner kind of find their foothold. So I was studying computer science at UC Berkeley around 2016, 2017, and had the opportunity to interact with a really wonderful organization called Blockchain at Berkeley. So they're basically an organization focused on all things blockchain and crypto, and just brought together a wonderful community of people that have since gone on to contribute to so many projects in the ecosystem. So after joining that org, I kind of just fell down the rabbit hole and haven't really looked back since. I remember reading the Bitcoin white paper, and then Ethereum, and then just reading a bunch of blog posts and Medium articles like a lot of other people in this event have mentioned. And I think I just really got excited about the space and just couldn't see myself anywhere else. And I think what really drew me to this space was three main things. I think the first one was I saw an immense amount of talent pouring into the space, which for me was a strong indicator of the space just being an amazing place to be a part of if you want to do something innovative. And then two, I like that you could be taken seriously regardless of your age. So again, I had just started college, and I realized that no one in the space has decades of experience because, it hasn't been around for that long. And I think because of that, I think as long as you know your stuff, you'll be taken very seriously and can really contribute to a huge extent and make a strong impact. And I think the last thing that made me stay was the fact that there's just still so much more to explore. The space is new, like I said, and the boundaries just haven't been explored yet, which personally for me got me excited. So it wasn't really stagnating. Now I'll kind of go into SHE-256 and why we created that. So as a background, SHE-256 is a 501c3 nonprofit that aims to increase diversity and break down barriers of entry to the blockchain space. And the reason we started was that, so me, Alexis, and Sarah actually had gone to an event in Berkeley. It was basically like a blockchain meetup. We were learning about some new piece of technology, and we were just like super excited. There were around like 50 or 60 people there. We loved the event. But then, after the event, when everyone's mingling and all of that, we like looked around and we realized we're like the only women in the room. And so we're like, that's ridiculous. Like we should change that. We should do something about that, because, we really believe that the blockchain space is going to change the world and change our financial and governance structure. So we believe that the people building these systems should represent that diversity that the world has. So we decided that day that we were going to throw a conference. So we decided this was around 2018 in like February, I think. So we decided in April of that year, we would throw a really cool conference, which was an all-female lineup with women that were already doing cool, groundbreaking research in the space. And then we wanted the attendees to be diverse. Like we had high schoolers come in that we gave them a grant to come and listen to the speakers. We had college students come. We had people in the industry come. And I think the event was a huge success. I think 300 people came. We got a lot of press, and there was just clearly there's just a lot of positive reception in the space, and something like this needed to happen. So we decided then that we were going to expand. So initially we were just going to be a conference, but then that summer we got our team together. We have an amazing team of around 10 to 15 people, and they were just like really pumped after the conference and wanted to do more. So that's when we decided to go full on into a nonprofit mode and tackle a lot of different initiatives. So I'll talk about some of those right now. Let me see if I can. Okay, cool. Next slide. Yeah, we have a bunch of different initiatives, but I'll focus on these 6 right now. So one is what Alexis mentioned. It's Fireside Chats. It's basically an interview series we have on our Medium, where we interview a bunch of really cool women in the space who are either like leading their companies, they're working on different research, they're working on different community and ecosystem aspects of their different protocols and projects, and just like hearing about their experience getting into the space, about what they're working on and all of that. So if you want to check that out, just go to our Medium. for She256. And then we have a mentorship initiative where we pair, we're on our third year now. Well, we're on our second year, and our third year will start in November. But basically, over the past 2 years, we've combined really cool people in the space who want to be a mentor with women who are early in their career or just started kind of their blockchain journey. And we're matching them together, and they basically meet once a month for a year. Just to get more exposed to the space. And that's been really successful. We've made like 900 matches so far around like over 30 countries. It's pretty incredible how connected the blockchain space is. And then we have Blockchain, which is an educational initiative. We piloted it last year around the Bay Area where we're based, but we hope to expand it and open source and make it more accessible to everyone. But it's basically, we go to high schools and host like an after school like lecture series around blockchain fundamentals. And then the next initiative is a beginner's guide, which we just released about 2 weeks ago. And I think it basically stemmed out of like the number one question that I'm asked is like, oh, how do I get started? Like blockchain sounds really cool. Like where do I start? And I realized like I was making like a list of articles and blog posts and white papers that you should read. And I was like recreating it every time for every new person that asked. And I realized there should just be like one source of truth. So we released this beginner's guide. You can access it at she256.org/guide, GUIDE. And it's basically a really simple 3-pager that goes into like every niche of like what we consider to be the most important part of the crypto space. So that's stuff like cryptocurrencies, consensus mechanisms, different use cases, a map of the ecosystem, things like that. So it was awesome because I got to work with Monsi from Saya and Women in Blockchain Boston, and we both worked together to release this guide. And so I hope some beginners find that very useful. And then the next initiative was a design-a-thon. So basically in 2019, we piloted this concept with the idea to lower the barrier of a traditional hackathon where coding is a prerequisite. And then we wanted to make it basically about designing a solution to a problem we faced in the blockchain space. So what we did is we brought 30 middle schoolers to a venue and asked them to design a better experience for teens who had received their first cryptocurrency wallet instead of like a credit card. And so what was amazing was that these children had never heard of blockchains, barely anything about technology in general. Like they were so young, and they had never used something like Figma and other design tools. But after like a 1-hour intro to blockchain fundamentals and a quick boot camp onto like design thinking principles, and also like a quick tutorial on Figma, we gave them like 8 hours to hack. And these students had not only identified real problems in the space, but had also attempted in creating actual solutions through Figma prototypes. And they were using words like multi-sig wallets and seed phrases, and it was just absolutely incredible. And I think this entire experience showed me the immense power that young minds and new people possess. And if they're given the right guidance and resources, they could really innovate in the space at a level of creativity that's just unmatched, I think, by other generations. So if you're interested in seeing their final products, we have a great tweet thread and a great Medium post explaining all of that. So again, just check out our Medium. But yeah, doing events like this, I think just like really inspired me to do more for the space and realize that there's a lot of different ways that people can contribute. Like you don't just have to be an engineer. I think people are really scared because the blockchain space sounds like a super, super technical space, which it is. But I think there's just, it's very multidisciplinary. So you can really contribute in any way that you want, in any capacity that you want. And I think showing people the importance of that is really important to get more people involved in the space. The last thing I want to discuss is the future of blockchain study. So this is new. It hasn't been released yet, but basically the She256 team is trying to put together a study of really trying to understand what the ecosystem looks like right now. And so we sent out this survey, which you can take. I'll link it afterwards to all the attendees, but you can take this study if you're already working in this space. And what we're trying to do is take a data-driven approach to all of our initiatives and really trying to understand like where the space is falling short and where our shortcomings are in terms of why there's like this huge lack of diversity in the space. And so what we aim to do is around end of September, SHE-256 will release this Future of Blockchain study based on the research that we've done through the survey, as well as like research we've done from talking to like a lot of our company partners. And we aim to use this data to map out the ecosystem and understand like what initiatives that we want to prioritize and how the space can be better and like how we can be more inclusive, basically. So if you're interested in learning more about that, check out she256.org/study, STUDI. And then one last thing I want to plug is we also just launched a job board beta. So if you're interested in kind of working in the blockchain space and also talking to other companies in the space, check that out. So if you go on our Medium, there's a post about the study. But yeah, that's mainly everything I had to talk about SHE-256. But if you had any questions, like feel free to ping us on email or on our social media. We're really active on Twitter and Instagram, but also happy to take any questions right now.
Thank you. I think that's like after lesson this, I will definitely want to join the group. Okay, I have a question from YouTube. It's asking that for the mentorship program, do you planning to like organizing a one-on-one like workshop, like we have Ethereum one-on-one for like telling people how to build dApps from scratch?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, we have the blockchain track, which is like our education initiative, and we're always looking to grow that. So if people are interested in building out content for that, we're super interested in working with them. So right now we have like a high level like intro to blockchain fundamentals in general. So it's more about like the blockchain space, the underlying like technologies and things like that. So we have a lecture for that, but we're super down to like open up our resources. So we've done quite a few webinars as well that's going into that blockchain initiative. So one was around like the DeFi space, another was around onboarding to Bitcoin. And we'd love to do something like, Ethereum 101. So if anyone is interested in doing that with us, like let us know. We're super down to collaborate. And in terms of like the mentorship program, I think that same person asked to say more about that. So how it works is every November, we send out a form of people asking to be like mentees or mentors. And then based on their interests and like first like what they're interested in studying more in the blockchain space and also like what niche they want to be a part of, we pair them together. And then it's pretty low touch. Like from there, the pairs kind of do everything. And we've had some amazing results. So we had one mentor-mentee pair who ended up like building a company together, which was super fascinating. We had a couple others just like really get involved in the space and start building out their own projects. And I think the main idea here is to really bring people together in the space and provide a new avenue of like another into the space and really understand from like a really intimate level like how the space works and learn from existing people. And I think a lot of people in the space have reached out to us and told us that they're just very down to mentor people, but they don't really have a platform to do that in. So this gives some structure to that. And so previously it was just for like women in the space, but in our third iteration, which will launch in November, we're hoping to open it up to like just a broader range of underrepresented minorities. So yeah, look out for that. And if you're interested in ever mentoring, just check out our website. If you go she256.org/mentorship, you can join the waitlist. But yeah.
Thank you. I have one last question. Was the mentorship program will be virtually or like in the future will be offline program?
Yeah, it's actually always, even before COVID, it's actually always been online just because we took a geographic location into account, but we indexed primarily on like interest and goals. So a lot of our pairings were actually like across distances. And like I said, there were like over 35 countries represented. So people from all around the world are like mentoring and being mentored by people. And so the thing was always pretty remote. If the people were in the same area though, they could feel free to like meet up on their own. But yeah, for the most part, it was remote and done through like Zoom calls.
Okay. Thank you, Maha. I think we have finished our sessions today. And thank you for all to stay so late. I think we left a lot of time. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much, Annie, for moderating it. It was really a nice session, listening all the wonderful women from Ethereum space.
Okay.
Thank you, at Planet. Thank you,
Okay.
everybody, for joining us today.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.